Things got heated on The View. And of course, you can see Meghan McCain on the side with the B-roll, because anytime anything gets fiery on The View, Meghan McCain is involved. This time the conversation was about Representative Matt Gaetz, who's facing an investigation for allegedly paying for an underage person to have sex with him. That investigation is ongoing. And so the other ladies of The View wanted to know why it is that Republicans haven't stripped him of his committee roles and ensured that there were other consequences for his actions. Now, whether you agree with that or not, the way that Meghan McCain handled it was a sight to see. Let's watch.
If it's not the Republican Party, shall I call it the QAnon Party? What shall I call your party now, who defends people like Matt Gaetz and goes against Liz Cheney? What are we supposed to call it?
I think you can call it whatever you want, because your influence in the Republican Party is almost zero. And again, as I've said on this show, it is for us to figure out amongst ourselves. What Republican is like, Joy Behar doesn't like my party? Oh God, I better stop voting for them now.
You know what,
really,
Meghan,
the same way I have no influence on the left. I don't think, at least.
Yes, but you often on this show give your opinion of what the Democrats should be doing with themselves to better themselves.
But you said that people on Capitol Hill, are supporting him. I'm telling you, from people that I know personally, they are embarrassed. This is embarrassing for the Republican Party.
Okay, then why don't they get rid of him?
They should, because
why don't they get him off his committee?
Because they have to convict him or whatever. I'm not a lawyer. They have to. What is it? They have to. The police have to arrest him. I don't know enough about it, but they have to arrest him and charge him. That's why he's still in Congress.
They didn't have any problem. They didn't have any problem taking Liz Cheney off her committees without any further investigation.
Liz Cheney, but that's a different thing. Liz Cheney wasn't on the committee. She was the third-ranking member, and she
suddenly they need.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Sunny has a legal note that she needs to read right now. So, Sunny, would you do me a favor, please, and read your legal note?
Every single day.
I do have a legal note.
Oh my God.
We're going to break. We're going to break.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Meghan McCain was right.
What?
Meghan McCain was right.
About?
Well, first off, let me just say that Joy Behar pointing out the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is a fair point. With that said, Meghan McCain is right in that Joy Behar has absolutely no influence on Republican voters, the Republican Party. And so while I think that it makes sense to call out that hypocrisy as a Democrat on that show, it's also definitely true that it's gonna have absolutely no impact in changing the hearts and minds of Republican voters. And look, I mean, I think it's really clear what Republican voters want. And they have become the party of Trump. And Matt Gaetz carries water for Trump. Donald Trump himself was accused, not by one, not by two, not by three, but by dozens of women of sexual misconduct. Teflon, no political consequences, no legal consequences, nothing. So I don't like the reality, but the reality is what Meghan McCain laid out there. I wish that she stuck to the word conviction because she was right. But other than that, I really have no critique for what she had to say there.
Yeah, I didn't love the talking over each other's nails on a chalkboard at the end there. But let's break it down a little bit further. So first of all, Joy Behar is correct in pointing out something. I didn't want you to miss it because there was so much shouting over each other. She says, well, why don't they get rid of Matt Gaetz, take away his committee assignments and stuff? And she says, McCain says, well, because he wasn't convicted. And then Joy Behar makes a great point, but neither was Liz Cheney of anything. She was not even charged with a crime. She's not charged with any improprieties. The only thing that she's charged with is not bowing her head to dear leader Donald Trump. And so that was enough to strip her of her assignment, the number 3 position in Republican leadership in the House. So that's enough. But the information on Matt Gaetz is not enough. So that's indisputable. Okay, now.
But hold on, but Meghan McCain also agrees with that, right? I mean, she does not agree with what happened to Liz Cheney. And so, the way that the interaction went down makes it appear as though McCain is carrying water for the current Republican Party, when in reality, she has been critical of that, of them and in particular critical of what they did to Liz Cheney.
So, but then let's go to the major point, because it actually happened a little bit before that clip began. And so in that clip, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, not only are Republicans not gonna listen to Joy Behar, that's certainly true. And actually, McCain there was a tiny bit self-deprecating if you caught it between all the shouting. She said, and the left wouldn't listen to me. That's also true. Believe me, that's true.
Definitely.
Okay, and so, yeah, the Republican Party are monsters. But that's actually the point that Joy Behar was trying to make. And she said, oh, you're saying it's not the Republican Party that supports Matt Gaetz. And earlier in the discussion, Meghan McCain was saying, oh, I know tons of people that work, and she talked about family members that work on the Hill and that are Republicans, and they don't support Matt Gaetz. Well, they're not supporting him secretly, but publicly, they're completely supporting him. So she's like, oh, that's not the Republican Party. No, but it literally is. The Republican Party just took official action against Liz Cheney, but they refused to take official action against Matt Gaetz. They could go tut, 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 I wish he wouldn't sleep with underage girls in private.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly. But politics is not done in private, it's done publicly. And so if you say, I love Matt Gaetz publicly, and it's awesome that he was with underage girls publicly, and then behind the scenes you go, well, I wish he wouldn't do that, that doesn't count. So if the entire Republican Party, in terms of the legislators in the House, are supporting Matt Gaetz, that is the Republican Party. That's what Joy Behar is 100% right about. That's why she said, what do you want me to call him? You say you don't want me to call him the Republican Party. That's not the Republicans you know. Do you want him call him the QAnon Party? But you tell me, and that was a fair question. What do we call him? Because you tell me that Republicans are awesome, and when I tell you all the terrible things that you do, you go, no, secretly, that's not the Republican Party. No, there ain't no secretly, okay? We can all see what the Republican Party is doing publicly, and they are monsters, total, utter monsters that even Meghan McCain can't defend most of the time. So then she just says, no, you have to trust me. I know a lot of Republicans, and they're wonderful in private.
Yeah, it's just like Nancy Pelosi and her Medicare for All posters in her basement.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it's the same kind of ridiculous, like, no, but their heart. Like, I know what's in their heart. No, but it doesn't matter what's in their heart. What matters is the actions that they take, who they carry water for, and what they try to justify, even if privately they don't agree with what they're justifying. And by the way, that is in my opinion, the top level of fecklessness. Drink, I know I use feckless a lot, mostly because I want to curse, but I can't. But you get what I'm saying, right? That's as cowardly as you can be. And for the Republican Party, which has presented itself as like this party of strongmen, this party of individuals with principles who want to fight for those principles, it really undoes the decades of messaging that they've put behind that kind of branding.
Yeah, and look, we're actually fair. So there are a ton of Democrats in this country who say, now Nancy Pelosi doesn't actually do anything we want, but she secretly really wants to do them. And that's the reference that Anna's making when she was being challenged on Medicare for All, which she despises, publicly opposes, makes fun of publicly. She said, no, I have a poster for single payer healthcare in my basement from the 1960s, apparently where she killed it and buried it, right? So we're honest about that and say, no, what you think privately is incredibly immaterial. What you do publicly as Speaker of the House is what matters. What legislation do you propose? Which legislation do you pass? I don't give a damn what you think privately or secretly or in your basement. We are fair on both sides. And by the way, to give credit to The View, it's a fascinating, different show. Joy Behar is actually a pretty damn good progressive and probably one of the best progressives anywhere on television. Sunny Hostin does a pretty good job. On the other hand, Whoopi Goldberg hasn't met a Democratic talking point that she hasn't fallen in love with.
Totally. 100%.
And so she would be the first one to agree with Meghan McCain about privately and secretly. I guarantee you, if you challenge Whoopi Goldberg on Pelosi, Biden, Kamala Harris, Schumer, any of them, she'd be like, no. Privately, they're the most wonderful people, and there was nothing they could do.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.